It's not easy to break a man's back, especially when he's a New York detective of Irish stock. But it is difficult to lead an inquiry into cosmic evil, as was the case in the Red Hook affair. These reels contain the greatest fantasy film ever made, The Nameless. It shows horror, the absolute nightmare. In a word, the unspeakable. Unfortunately, this masterpiece by Arnold Keene will remain unfinished, as the director took realism a little too far. This tape tells the story of the town of Zebico, destroyed by a strange creeping fog. Telegraph operator John Morgan had been dead for several hours when this message arrived. The medical bag of Herbert West appeared to the likes of Pasteur or Ambrose Paré. After enlisting as a volunteer in World War I, he worked with enthusiasm wherever others were repulsed by the sight of horridly mutilated bodies. His career came to a brutal end with the outcry that accompanied the results of his experiments. A museum worthy of its name simply had to own the sadly infamous Necronomicon, written by the demented Arab Abdul al-Hazred. This unique copy was the property of Charles Dexter Ward. It was undoubtedly Lovecraft's passion for astronomy that enabled him to detect those vague cosmic presences milling on the very outskirts of the universe and the endless abysses of the beyond. What gigantic, repulsive anomaly did the Sphinx originally represent? This statue was given to Lovecraft by the famous illusionist Harry Houdini as a token of his thanks in helping him exorcise the horror of his Egyptian nightmare. An interesting indicator of the French branch of the Lovecrafts. After a successful escape from the prison of the Doles, of Dole, Garnier made for England, where he passed himself off as a Protestant fleeing persecution. On 6 September 1620, he boarded a ship, the Mayflower, sailing for America. Family chronicles, a much favored tradition during the 16th century, were often embellished by charming, naive drawings. This diary, kept between 1560 and 1580 by Claes Vanderheil, is no exception to the rule. This file contains unspeakable drawings from the pen of Goya, who always repudiated their authorship. King Olaf Trigon, who died in the year 1000, tried in vain to bring Christianity to Norway. He is depicted here clashing with a strange marine creature, a deity venerated by the indigenous peoples. The legacies of sacred art include such admirable works as this detail from the Church of Chauvigny from the 12th century. It is still unclear what the builders of these cathedrals used as models when sculpting these demons. This crystal was discovered in the ices of Greenland, among strata dating back to the Miocene. It belonged perhaps to a sorcerer from Thule in the dawn of mankind. It is said that he who stares at it for too long can have strange visions.